Yo, what's up everybody? It's Kokobozu back with another video. And this time, we're diving deep into the biggest rivalry in the smartphone world, iPhone versus Samsung. It's the battle of the tech titans, the clash of the ecosystems. Look, we all know how important choosing the right smartphone is. It's your constant companion, your portal to the world, your camera, your gaming device, and for some, even your wallet. Picking the wrong one can lead to years of frustration, but picking the right one, well, that just makes life better. So whether you're Team Apple, Team Samsung, or just caught in the crossfire, this video is for you. We're going to break down every major aspect of these phones, from design and performance to camera and battery life. By the end, you'll have all the information you need to pick the perfect phone for you. Alright, let's kick things off with the first thing you notice about any phone, the design. Now, both Apple and Samsung are known for crafting some seriously premium-feeling devices. iPhones, with their iconic notch and minimalist aesthetic, have always been about that sleek, almost jewelry-like appeal. They feel incredibly solid in the hand, and the build quality is second to none. You pick one up and you know you're holding something well-made. Samsung, on the other hand, leans into that futuristic, almost space-age vibe. Take the Galaxy S23 Ultra, for example, with its curved glass edges that seem to melt into the metal frame. It feels incredibly modern and sleek, and that giant, gorgeous display just pulls you in. But it's not just about looks. We're talking about materials too. Apple's gone all in on premium materials, using surgical-grade stainless steel on their Pro models. And let me tell you, it makes a difference. These phones feel incredibly dense and sturdy. Samsung, on the other hand, has been experimenting with lighter materials like armor aluminum, which they claim is just as durable while being easier on your hands and pockets. And let's not forget the little details. Apple's still rocking that mute switch, which, let's be honest, is just so satisfying to click. Samsung, they've got their dedicated Bixby button, which, well, it's there if you need it. Ultimately, both companies bring their A game when it comes to design and build quality. It really boils down to personal preference. Do you like that clean, minimalist iPhone aesthetic, or are you more drawn to Samsung's futuristic curves and bleeding-edge display tech? Okay, so we've talked about looks, but let's get under the hood and talk about what really matters: performance. Now, in this corner, we've got Apple's A16 Bionic chip powering the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. This thing is an absolute beast when it comes to raw power and efficiency. It just chews through everything you throw at it, from demanding games to heavy multitasking without breaking a sweat. And in the other corner, we have Qualcomm's latest and greatest, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 found in Samsung's Galaxy S23 series. This chip is no slouch either, packing some serious horsepower and delivering incredibly smooth performance across the board. We're talking buttery smooth scrolling, lightning-fast app launches, and just an overall snappy experience. Now, benchmarks are one thing, but what about real-world use? Well, in my experience, both of these phones absolutely fly. Whether I'm editing 4K video on the iPhone or jumping between a dozen apps on the S23 Ultra, I rarely encounter any lag or stutter. Gaming is another area where both phones excel. The A16 Bionic's GPU is a monster, delivering console-quality graphics and smooth frame rates on even the most demanding mobile games. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 isn't far behind, though. It handles graphically intensive games with ease, and the S23 Ultra's larger display gives you even more screen real estate to dominate your opponents. But here's the thing, for most people, both of these phones are going to feel incredibly fast and responsive. Alright, let's talk cameras, because let's be real, for a lot of us, the camera is the most important feature on our phones. And both iPhone and Samsung bring some serious heat in this department. Apple's always been known for its natural-looking images, and the iPhone 14 Pro continues that tradition with its triple 48-megapixel camera system. They've got that telephoto lens, an ultra-wide lens, and of course the main sensor, which captures incredible detail and dynamic range. Samsung, on the other hand, goes all out with the Galaxy S23 Ultra, boasting a ridiculous 200 megapixel main sensor. I mean, that's just insane. And it's not just about megapixels. Samsung packs in some seriously impressive camera tech like their dual pixel autofocus for lightning fast focusing and super steady video for incredibly smooth footage. But let's talk about what really matters, the actual photos and videos. iPhones are known for their accurate colors, great dynamic range, and that simple point-and-shoot experience. You just point the camera and snap, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a fantastic-looking photo. Samsung, on the other hand, gives you a ton of control with its Pro mode, allowing you to fine-tune every aspect of your shot. And that 200-megapixel sensor, it captures an insane amount of detail. When it comes to video, both phones can shoot stunning 4K footage at up to 60 frames per second. But Samsung takes it up a notch with its 8K video recording at 24 frames per second, which is great for capturing incredibly detailed footage. Ultimately, both the iPhone and Samsung offer incredible camera systems. It really comes down to your personal preference. Do you value Apple's simple point-and-shoot experience and natural-looking images? Or do you prefer Samsung's versatility, insane detail, and advanced features? Alright, let's talk about battery life, because nobody wants a phone that dies in the middle of the day. Now, iPhones have always been known for their impressive battery life, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max is no exception. Apple's A16 Bionic chip is incredibly power efficient, and combined with iOS's battery optimization, you can easily get through a full day of heavy use without needing to reach for the charger. Samsung's Galaxy S23 Ultra also packs a pretty sizable battery. And thanks to some software optimization and that power-efficient Snapdragon chip, it also delivers solid battery life. You can expect to get through a full day of moderate use without any issues. But here's where things get interesting. When it comes to charging, Samsung takes the crown. The S23 Ultra supports insanely fast 45-watt wired charging, which can juice up your phone from 0 to 100% in about an hour. It also supports fast wireless charging, which is super convenient. Apple, on the other hand, well, they haven't really changed their charging game much in recent years. The iPhone 14 Pro Max supports up to 20-watt wired charging, which is decent but not as fast as what Samsung offers. And wireless charging is limited to 15 watts. So, if you're the type who's constantly on the go and needs a phone that charges up quickly, Samsung definitely has the edge here. But if you're someone who charges their phone overnight and doesn't mind slightly slower charging speeds, the iPhone's battery life will definitely impress. Alright, we've talked about hardware, but now it's time to talk about the software experience, because at the end of the day, that's what you're interacting with every time you use your phone. Now, on the iPhone, we've got iOS, which is known for its simplicity, ease of use, and that just works approach. It's incredibly intuitive, even if you're new to smartphones. Samsung, on the other hand, uses Android, which they customize with their own One UI skin. Now, Android is known for its customization options and open ecosystem. You can really make your phone your own with widgets, launchers, and all sorts of tweaks. iOS, on the other hand, is a more controlled environment. Apple's got a very specific vision for how they want their software to look and feel, and they don't give you a ton of freedom to change things up. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people appreciate iOS's simplicity and the fact that it just works. When it comes to apps and services, both Apple and Samsung have their own ecosystems. Apple's got its App Store, which is known for its strict app review process and generally higher quality apps. They've also got services like Apple Music, Apple Pay, and iCloud, which are all deeply integrated into iOS. Samsung, on the other hand, has its own Galaxy Store, which offers a wider selection of apps, including some that you won't find on the App Store. They've also got services like Samsung Pay and Samsung Health, which are great alternatives to Apple's offerings. Ultimately, the best software experience for you comes down to your personal preference. Do you value simplicity, ease of use, and a tightly controlled ecosystem? Then iOS might be the way to go. Or do you prefer customization options, an open ecosystem, and the ability to really make your phone your own? Then Android and Samsung's One UI might be a better fit. So there you have it, guys, the iPhone versus Samsung Battle Royale. We've covered everything from design and performance to camera and software, and honestly, there's no clear winner here. Both companies are making incredible phones with their own strengths and weaknesses. It really comes down to your individual needs and preferences. Do you prioritize that sleek design and simple software experience? iPhone might be your jam. Or do you crave that cutting-edge tech, insane camera, and the freedom to tweak every aspect of your phone? Then Samsung's probably more your speed. Let me know down in the comments which phone you prefer and why. I'm always down for a good tech debate. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more epic tech showdowns. Peace out.